thank you so much for coming in to see me today. I know that you're rarely get a day off, and for you to come in and accommodate us for the show. But when I was putting the list together of who I needed to see in Chicago, you were at the top of that list. So my profound thanks to you.
My pleasure.
So we've been working together on and off for at least 15 years.
A long time.
And I think we started at Marché.
We did.
Now tell me a little bit about your past that brought you to Marché at that point.
Well, I think by the time I got to Marché, I had already been a pastry chef for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And I had wanted to work at Marché because I worked across the street at a restaurant that was not as cool. And I remember looking in the window and seeing all the action that was going on at Marché, and I knew that I really wanted to work there. So when I got the opportunity, I took it.
Your career really took off, though, when you rejoined Michael Cornick when he opened MK. Tell me a bit about that experience.
Crazy, because I never expected it, but Michael called me and said he was going to open up his own restaurant, asked me if I wanted to be the pastry chef. The price was right. So I took the job. I think mainly also because I love Michael and respected him. And at that time, there were very few chef-driven restaurants that had opened, so I think he opened up at an incredible time. And we got a lot of attention. We were very busy, and the reviews started coming in, and they really talked a lot about my desserts and highly of them, and was getting very favorable mentions. And the one thing, and I know that you're going to agree with me about this, is that working for Michael Cornick is that he allows the window to be wide open. Yeah. And it's your decision how far you want to open that. And for me, I couldn't open it wide enough. So I really was able to work on my craft and hone in on my skills and my flavors and the pastries and the plates. And it was a very good experience for me also because he taught me how to run a business, and which took me to Hot Chocolate.
Okay. And this is your restaurant?
Yes.
You are the executive chef?
Yes, I am.
And I think many people still consider you as a pastry chef.
Yes.
But that would be to deny a considerable amount of your contributions to what's happening here.
Yes.
I mean, the savory food, you had the audacity to say it's the best hamburger you've ever had.
Yes, true.
And it really is. I mean, it is
true.
Tremendous.
It's delicious.
So tell me a little bit, when did you recognize that you had skills that transcended the pastry world?
Well, I've worked in really good restaurants my entire career, and I worked side by side with really good sous chefs, chef de cuisines, and chefs. And one thing I learned very early on is to be a great chef, you have to know what the person next to you is doing. And even though I was honing in on my skills as a pastry chef, I never ever strayed from looking over at the savory part of the kitchen. And when you're a chef and you're really into food, you're constantly thinking about it, and you're constantly thinking about what you can do to make your food better. And as a pastry chef, which is extremely important, as a really good pastry chef, you have to understand the relationship that the food has on your pastry.
You also have a tremendous amount of self-confidence. And I think the other more important thing is that you're highly competitive.
Yes.
Right? I have never seen you take a backseat to anyone.
No.
I've never seen you back away from a challenge.
No.
And I think
True.
it's part of the reason that we always enjoyed working together.
Yes.
Was that there was a drive to find out how good we could be.
Yeah, I think you were the one who brought that out of me, though. Honestly,
What is that story?
Because I think it was the first week that I worked at Marché, and you came up to me, and you were talking about chocolate chip cookies, I think, or chocolate cake, and you were talking about the previous pastry chef. I'm not really sure exactly the whole story, but you were talking about a perfect chocolate chip cookie and the qualities of a perfect chocolate chip cookie. And I think you were critiquing something that I had made, and I was angry because I was like, no way are you going to tell me what I know, okay? Right. And so I think that I took that on as a challenge, and it didn't make me afraid to come up to you every single day when I was making something new to have you try it, right, to make sure that you knew that I was the best pastry chef.
I remember that clearly, and what I remember as much as anything was that you kept coming back to me with that cookie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a touch of baking soda, it was
Touch
the
of salt.
right?
Yep.
And the right amount of brown sugar, and then the right temperature.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and what
Oh, yeah.
I admired so much about you is the fire that you had.
Yeah,
That you were
I'm
not
fiery.
going to back down until you nailed it.
It's the
And
redhead
you
in me.
nailed it.
Yeah.
And,
No,
and I
sure.
have to say, there is no one who makes cookies like you do.
Thank you.
It's an outlandish statement, and I will stand behind it. You have a conviction for what you do.
True.
I love the way you refer to it as your craft.
Yes.
And what I'd like to do is let's take a little minute here.
Okay.
We're going to go up and check out a little bit more in depth about what you're doing here at Hot Chocolate.
Okay.
So let's dig in. All right.
Great.
But thanks. It was a pleasure.
I love you.
It's great to see you, darling.
Yeah.
Thank you.